G'day guys, it's Ben again, here to bring you another video, and this one is going to be looking at getting started in your urban hobby farm. Okay guys, so when we think about we want to start growing some food or some herbs or nice things around the garden, we need to plan this and to think about what we've got. So the first thing that I recommend you do is do lots and lots of research. The more research you have, the more knowledge you have, and as they say, knowledge is power. Okay, so a really good tool that you can use is what they call a SWOT analysis. So strengths, S, W is your weaknesses, O is for opportunities, and T is for threats. So if we work our way through that, okay, so strengths. So what are the things that you can bring to the table? Are you energetic? Are you enthusiastic? Are you passionate about food? Are you keen to get yourself started? All those kind of things. Do you have a bit of knowledge or experience? Maybe your partner does, maybe your kids do. Maybe this is a project for your kids. They sometimes do with you know, your homework kind of stuff for kids from school, or maybe this is just something that you want to get into because you're noticing the cost of vegetables and fruits is skyrocketing. In Australia in 2016, in less than 10 months, the prices of fruits and vegetables has gone up 20%. Which is an incredible amount, and there's just like I really don't understand how that can be justified, but unfortunately our market is dominated by two massive supermarket chains, and unfortunately they can dictate a lot of that more so than other people can. Okay, so let's move on. So we've done strengths, opportunities. So what opportunities do you think you have in your space? So you might have a backyard, you might have an apartment block with a little bit of a deck. Maybe you're in a rental place, maybe you're in your own place, whatever it might be. Let's think about what opportunities you have. And one of the best things that you can really do at this stage is to draw yourself out a map of your sort of footprint, or your land, or your deck, or whatever it might be, however small it might be or however big it might be. But draw yourself out a map, preferably to scale or as close to scale as you can get. And that way, if you think, okay, you know what we might do, we might put some vegetables up this side, and we might put an orchard at the back, and we might do all sorts of things, then you've actually got a realistic idea. Because if you read up on some of these plants, especially the fruit trees and so on, they can sometimes require sort of 2 or 3 meters between the trees, and if you're sort of packing them in real close, I know that can be very tempting to do, and especially when the trees are young and they're quite small. All of a sudden you're starting to see the trees sort of bunch up together, the fruit's not forming properly, and it all becomes a bit hard. And especially at that stage when the trees are like 6, 7, 8 years old, it can be really difficult to sort of do much about it without putting in jeopardy your trees. So it's a big investment as well in terms of your time, and oh gosh, there's a lot of flies around today. It's a big investment in terms of time and energy and effort you put in, and then to suddenly realise you've actually made a mistake that you could have been corrected earlier on. Rightio, so strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. So weaknesses in particular we're wanting to look at, maybe you might have financial limitations, you might have limitations in terms of what you'd like to achieve, but you've only got a small space to do it. And so then you look at what your threats are. So you might have a lot of pests in your garden and so on. Things like caterpillars are a big one, possums are another big one, and obviously birds and fruit bats. Fruit bats seem to have gone massive in their populations in Australia. I'm a really big advocate for native Australian animals, but I do understand people's pressures when you're trying to grow fruits and stuff, and the bats are really getting into them. I've got this lovely pawpaw tree right here, but unfortunately every time we seem to get fruits on it, the possums are into it before we can get a chance to get those fruits down, and that's really frustrating. So there are things you can do about those, and please look at my organic pest control playlist, and that'll cover off some of that sort of stuff. Okay, so now we want to get a bit of an idea of what we can do and sort of how we can achieve it. And let's take a look at some options. Righty, so down this side of my garden I've got a whole bunch of containers. Now these particular containers, a little bit difficult to get at the moment. They seem to have stopped producing them in 2015, but they're doing some similar ones, but they're different colours. I'd like to actually get a few more of these, but there you go. Alright, so these are self-watering tubs, and they'll hold enough water at least for a few days in a typical sort of Queensland summer. And they can be really useful for growing all kinds of different plants. Another option, another option is hanging baskets. So obviously I'm in a rental property. I can't make too much of an impact, if you like, on the actual sort of ground here too much. But hanging baskets can be a really good option. The difficulty with hanging baskets is you're going to have to water them a lot, and I've lost some plants just recently because I was in hospital, and that was very frustrating. Alrighty, veggie pods are a really good one. You can see my product review of the veggie pods if you like. It's definitely worth checking out. These are way better than a traditional container gardening kind of option, because they include their own watering system, and they also have this sort of bug repellent, insect repellent sort of stuff on top of them, which is really useful. Here's my line of Holman modular raised garden beds. As I say, I'm only in a rental place, but this was a really good option for me. I'm going to be here probably for another 12 months, 18 months, and what I've been able to do is create a really effective garden bed system in some areas of land that really didn't have much potential, but this sort of enabled me to bring in some really good quality soil and grow some really good plants. I was really happy with that. And finally, I've decided to get some fruit trees. I got these, let's see, like 6-7 months ago, and I've got a whole bunch of different trees. I've got bay leaf, a dwarf orange, a lemon tree, blackberry bushes, blueberry bushes, rosemary, pomegranate, a fig, a lime tree, avocado, pawpaw, and also avocado, I said that, mango tree, that's the one. There you go, finger lime and lily pilly to cap that one off. So this will be the start of my orchard when I do move into my own place, as I say, hopefully within the next sort of 12-18 months. When I do move into my own place, these trees will be well and truly established and be able to slot straight into providing me with some really good fruits. And as I say, obviously you can do this without a whole lot of energy, a whole lot of effort, or a whole lot of cost. You can buy sometimes a lot of these sort of plant pots and so on at a fairly inexpensive price, and you can get going with you can borrow someone's trailer if you don't have your own, or someone's ute, and you can get some really good quality soil from a garden centre, and you can use that to start off. And it doesn't take long before things can really start to happen for you. And as you can sort of see your successes and develop in your experience and your knowledge, then you can broaden out what you're doing. And it really doesn't take a whole lot of effort. The biggest part of my day, I suppose, is I spend a fair bit of time watering and just sort of trying to control the pests and so on. But there you go, that's just part of life, really. Alright, so work out what you want to do. Work out, I guess, how you need to get there in terms of what are the things that you'd like to grow, and also what are the steps you need to take to get there, and then just slowly chip away at them. Don't rush yourself. Don't have expectations that are sort of out of reach or just too high or anything like that. Just try and get there, and in time you will. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for your time and patience. Thanks for watching, and I hope you got something out of this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video. Well, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please press the like button.
If you have any comments, suggestions, or questions, please feel free to share this video with Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn.
Please leave a comment below. We're looking forward to seeing you in our next video. Until then, keep safe.